Hello friends and welcome back to our tutorial series. So in our last video we saw that we are facing a JavaScript problem, and literally if we can read the problem it says could not find column with department ID. And also if you just go down here, it is trying to share error context and it is saying that show department component.html has some problem. So it is very clear that we have to go to this file and we have to do something with the data, as well as we have to render it properly. Let us see how to do that. So here what we'll do is first we'll try to fix the data problem. So we'll come up with some dummy data, and to create the dummy data, let us just follow these few steps. Okay, so we will go to show dep.component.ts, and here we'll create one method uh, which will be a dummy data, and we'll call that data inside our ng on init method. So when our application gets initiated, when we try to access this page, so this method would get initiated and the data will be called from here. So let us add that. So here we created one method called refresh dep list, and under that we have created one local variable. And what we are doing is we are assigning an array wherein we are assigning the data as department ID 1 and department name IT, department ID 2, department name finance. And what we are doing is we are initializing that data into our list data. Okay, and what we'll do here is in here we'll say this dot refresh department list, and that's it. We are just calling this. Let's see what is the result in our application. So let's go back to our application, and let's reload it again, and let's try to click on departments. Still there are two errors existing, which says error could not find column with ID department ID. Okay, let us go and see what exactly the problem we are facing at the moment. So for now, there is some issue we are facing. So we just need to check that. So I think we have got the problem here. Here the spelling is department ID and M is capital here, whereas in our code, our department name is, you see, this is the problem. So let it keep it like that, department. And if we just go back to our component.html file of this one here, you can see that we actually have said that we are going to have columns like options, then department ID and department name, but actually here we are just have added ng container for the options. So okay, I'm gonna paste here another two columns which are department ID and department name. What we are doing is we are just at the moment we are not doing any sorting, so I'm just removing this. So here what we have done is we have added one more column as department ID, and as you can see here that we are going to get department ID value from this element, and we are using let. What let means is the object that we have created as in component.ts file. If you just go back here and check in the component.ts file, here we have created refresh deploys method, and on initiating of this method, what happens here, if you see that ng init, we are calling this method. That means we are assigning the dummy data into our list data. And since we are assigning the data into list data, so it is having department ID, department name. And as you can see here in displayed column, we have options, department ID and department name. So the mistake what we were doing was if you just come back to our component.html file, we were just having this code available, right? And we were saying that yeah, we have an option column, and we have an edit for on click of options, on edit method we had there, and on click of delete, we have a delete method there, but we were not defining the department ID and department name. So here we have added one column called department ID, and this department ID we are going to get from the element. And what is that element? Is that element value is basically getting rendered from our list, from this list. So this is our data source. Remember, this is our data source. So we are saying that element dot department ID. So let means for each element. In C Sharp, we have something called for each. So here we have something similar as let. So for each element, get the department ID, and for each element, get the department name. And here for each row, we are getting the department ID for that button. Okay, so let's go back and check in our code. Are we okay? So if I click on departments, now we can see that we are getting data and we are getting column names. In options, we have two buttons here. One is for edit, and if you click on edit, here we have put on log. In console log, we are showing the department ID and department name. If you just come back to our component.ts file, which is show dep component.ts file, here you see we are actually displaying it in the log. So when I'm click on edit button, it is showing me the department object. Let's come and see in our browser. So it is showing me a department object having department one as department ID as one, department name as IT. If I click on the next button, again it is showing me that department 2 and department name as finance. So the moment you click on the button, it will show you the same. And let's do for the same for the on delete method. In on delete method, at the moment we are just fetching the ID of that particular record. So if you just go back into this application, and if you click on a delete button, so you can see that here it is showing you the value as 1. If I click on this, it is showing the value as 2. So that means our on edit and on delete events are working fine. And also if you can just see that the data which we have created, the dummy data, right, we have created the dummy data, so it is working fine. So department 1 IT, department 2 finance, so that's what we are displaying here in department 1 and IT, department 2 as finance. Let's go and check other things as well. So what actually we want to see now is at the moment we are looking at the dummy data. I mean, inside our component.ts file, we have created some dummy data, right? So I don't want this dummy data. I want to see the actual data that we have in our database. So to do that, we already developed APIs, get, put, post, delete in the beginning of our course. So now we are going to make use of get method, to read the data from department table. So we'll end our video here itself, and in our next video we are going to see how to consume get method and display the department details. Okay, until then, take care. Thank you for watching, and please keep coming and visit our videos, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.